I'm sure all of you are ready for the next screening, aren't you? Well, our next film is a film about relationships and family, written and directed by Subhashish Bhutiani and produced by Sanjay Bhutiani and Sajida Sharma. The film stars our very own Adil Hussain and Lalit Bail in the lead roles. And it isn't a story about death, but of life and relationships that make us who we are in a city that sometimes sees death as a part of its fabric and sometimes as a celebration. Well, the film was awarded the Grand Prix Enrico Fulcigoni and UNESCO Gandhi Medal at the Venice International Film Festival, and it also was the recipient of the Asia Cinema Fund by BIFF 2016 at South Korea. It was also adjudged the Critics' Choice Award at the Vissol International Film Festival at France, and Adil Hussain won the Special Jury Award Special Mention feature film at the 64th National Film Awards for his work in this film. So without delay, first of all, before we move ahead with the screening, I'd like to welcome on stage Sanjay Bhutiani and Adil Hussain.
No. अरे आप हमारे मेहमान हैं, मेहमान पहले बोलते हैं, ऐसे मत.
Good evening, everybody. It's a great pleasure, honor, and a great opportunity to show our beautiful little gem, Mukti Bhawan. It is directed by my son, Subhashish. And he sends his good wishes here, and he's really, really delighted that his film has come to Assam, and the people from Assam will see this film. And I heard somebody from Arunachal Pradesh as well. Great. So, and that's my dear friend Adil, who I didn't know till about a year and a half. And we've been traveling whether the director is there or not. So we feel very honored that we are representing the film here to you. And we hope you enjoy this beautiful little thing we have created together. Yeah.
That's it, and we hope to speak to you after the film. There is a Q&A, question and answer session. If you like the film, please stay back. And if you have questions, you can ask us. If we have answers, we will share it with you with a lot of joy. And thank you for coming all the way from all over the place this evening. Thank you. Enjoy the film, please.
Well, Adilda just now mentioned that we'll have a quick question and answer session after the screening. So please be seated once the screening is over. As of now, it's time to enjoy the movie. We'd request Adil Hussain and Sanjay ji to kindly come on stage. I'd also request Karma Paljor to kindly come forward.
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the entire team. I'd also like to congratulate Adilda once again. He bagged the Best Actor Award at Washington, D.C. South Asia Film Festival. And the announcement was made just 2 days ago. So, yeah, and Sanjay Bhutiani is also here, the producer. I'd also like to tell you, I guess most of you already know, that the director of this movie, Subhashish Bhutiani, is just 25 years old. And he's right now touring the festival circuits across the world. So exciting time for the young lad. And we have the proud father sitting right here. So I don't want to speak much, but I just would like to now throw the mic to Sanjay and Adilda. Adil is a great storyteller in himself. He was just telling us yesterday in the evening that in one of the festivals in Europe, he was speaking to a group of Germans, I think. And you know, Germans are emotionally very strong. He described the people that he was speaking to as 7 feet tall, who would not open up so easily. They did not love him immediately. But after the film, he went looking for them, and they were smoking around the corner. And Adilda happened to ask them, "What do you think about the movie?" And one of them said, "I better call my father." So it's over to you, Adil. Tell us the making. Tell us your experience. Tell us what you went through. Because it's a very dark subject, handled so brilliantly, so brilliantly.
Yes, I think that the director, his son, I actually agreed to the movie, to do this movie before I read the script. He sent a message to one of my common friends, and he sent it to me, and I loved the subject, and I said yes. The first reason I said yes, because in the message it was written that my 23-year-old son has written the script and he's directing it. And it's about death, it's about father-son relationship, and it's set in Banaras. And I said, and it's going to premiere in Venice. And his first film, Kush, was shortlisted for Oscars, and it got the Best Short Film Award at the Venice Film Festival. So that was good enough resume for me to be tempted to say yes instantly. The experience, I lost my father in 2003, and I was shooting for a television series called Jasus Vijay near Pakistan border, and Pakistan border, and it was 8 o'clock in the evening. I clearly remember, and I just came back from a shot, and I sat down, and my assistant director gives me the phone and says, "Your brother is calling from Assam." I said, "Yeah, bhai, ki hol? Deuta dukale." Oh, kidya? When? 2 o'clock. I was like, "Oh, okay. Sir, shot ready hai." Somebody comes and tells me from here. I said, "Bhai, I'll talk to you later." So I went and shot for 2 more hours, and I was surprised that I didn't feel the sorrow, the remorse. I did not feel the sadness which I was expecting to feel. So, is there something wrong with me that my father passed away and I'm not feeling sad? Then, of course, I looked back and I realized that I had been preparing not for his death only, I'd been preparing to understand the subject of death since 1996, since the time I visited Sri Aurobindo Ashram, and I had been reading a lot about what happens after death. And Sri Aurobindo is the person who has written extensively, in details, what happens. And I started believing that story, that narration, that death is just, just this end of this story, but another starts. And also the fact that since we all have to die one day, and it could be right now, and something as inevitable as that, if we do not accept it with grace and beauty and gratitude, then we are doing a great disservice to our emotional being. That we have to die for sure when we don't know it could be now, so we better be prepared. We cannot avoid it, no matter who you are. You can be Trump or whoever, but we have to all die. So better accept it. And India has great, wisdom to prepare you for that. And it is there since last thousands of years. So if we don't prepare, who will prepare? Being Indians. I'm very, very privileged to be born in this country, which has got great wisdom about death, about how to prepare, and not only ancient understanding, a mystic understanding of death, but also in India, but also the Buddhists, the shamans from across the globe. They have spoken about death extensively, and I happen to be lucky enough to have met amazing people who has explained, and I read a lot on that, and also practiced certain practices which led me to that day when I heard the news of my father who passed away. I was like, okay, Dad, you have lived your full life and we should celebrate. That was so when I read the story and the script, I thought, perfect. So I had to act. You know what I mean? I had to act as if I'm sad. But I wasn't actually sad. Thank you.
I think that end sums it very perfectly when he's walking down and his daughter kind of holds him, and then the entire family celebrates as they walk down the stairs. Sanjay, you are a proud father. There's no taking away from that. Now, the central theme, right from the beginning, that thread that runs, talks about, I guess, jo karo jo man ka suno, do what your heart tells you to do. That thread is there. Is that what you taught your son right from the beginning and he became what it is? Or were you stubborn and you wanted him to do something else?
So there are two things. One is I was as tough as they are. But at a very young age, from the age of 10, me and my wife, we decided that, we should give him, um, freedom. And from the age of 10, he went to a boarding school in Missouri called Woodstock. And I love the environment there because there are no school uniforms. And it's a multicultural, multinational kind of a school. And they didn't have exams till grade 8 and all those things. And then I wanted him to grow as a universal person. So a lot of freedom was given to him. And the only time, I think, two times I changed his mind. Once when he came to me in grade 12, he said, I want to be an actor. So I said, you have great visualization. I've seen your report cards, progress reports in the last 3, 4 years, and always your teachers are telling me, the English teacher, that he has imagination. And I said, if you have imagination, you have power. Power to think, power to visualize, power to execute. So that's one time I, guided him a bit. And second time is when he went to America to study filmmaking. 4 years he went there. He came back to me after 1 year saying, I have to choose now whether I should do direction or do cinematography. That's when I put him on to a few of my friends in film industry. I said, you go and meet a couple of DOPs, couple of my director friends, and you come back and then let's have a discussion. So he came back. So, and I just told him, I said, see, if you're going to be a director, you're going to lead a team. And if you're going to be a DOP, you're going to be a creative person there. And there is far more risk to be a director. So you decide what you want to do. So always I think that thing has been there for him to seek his own path. So maybe somewhere there he's got this.
So you did it gently, yeah? A gentle nudge here.
It was tough. After that,
push there.
he was growing gently. Now, complete freedom.
Adil, was the boy tough on you, or were you tough on the boy? How was the chemistry on set? How difficult was it, for you to accept that a 25-year-old is directing you, telling
24.
you 24-year-old is directing you, telling you what to do? Were there times when you thought that, "Arey, mujhe pata hai yaar, bachcha abhi chup karke raho"?
Before I answer that question, I just want to tell my producer here that when you told your son that, you have great imagination, actors also do have imagination, by the way.
That's hurt you, huh?
You robbed him. Yeah. To answer your question, Paljor, is that I believe that filmmaking, a film, is director's medium, and that's the end of the story. If I choose to act under the direction of a director, I completely submit. No matter what he says, and no matter how irrelevant or irreasonable I find, I follow it. Because I don't have any access to his vision of the film, even if he has told me, because it is ambiguous, it is open to interpretation, and imagination runs, run wild, and the film happens most often at the editing table. I wouldn't know where he would cut, what kind of music he would put. So I am no way. I think it's an audacity for an actor, especially if you are not involved with the script from the day one, from the conception. If you're not involved, then I think it's audacity of an actor to even tell the director how this scene should be done, because a director lives with the concept from pregnancy, from inception to pregnancy to delivery. It is his or her vision. I'm just one component, and I think I always tell my students that if you want to do a film, learn how to be obedient, and obedience is so important for an actor that the instruction can come from outside or the instruction can come from inside as well, but be obedient in order to follow that instruction. So I had no issue. In fact, of course, I had to make him feel comfortable to direct me. So first day I said, hey, darling, whatever you want, I'm there. Just tell me what to do, I will do it. If I find it extremely difficult, we'll talk about it, but just feel free to, without any hesitation. And he was, I think I always compared him with Ang Lee, with the humility that he has, the wisdom that he has. He's like a wise old man in a young body. And I had been lucky enough to be directed by him, to be in this film. And thank you so much for suggesting my name. You are the one who suggested my name to him. So I owe you 10% of the payment, which you gave it to me.
And that, Adilda, I think is called emotional intelligence, which some people get it at a very young age and which takes years and years to, develop emotional intelligence. Yeah. Okay. One last question. I know you guys have...
I want to add one small thing to him. I've heard Shubhashish very closely in various conversations as well. He's always believed making a film is a collaborative effort from everyone involved in the team. And he strongly believed that Adil, Lalit Saab and other actors and of course the other collaborators in the film, which is the music, the editing, everybody, they give their inputs and help a director realize his true vision of the film. And that's what I wanted to add to this part.
One final question for me. How interesting was it to stay for so many days there shooting in Banaras and get that whole atmosphere and the whole, understand the ecosystem and do what you could do so brilliantly? Okay, with very less money.
I think
Did you stay in Sapna Lodge, by the way?
We stayed in Yoga House. It's called the Yoga House, and it was on the river. The thing about Banaras, I don't know how many of you had been to Banaras? 1, 2. I think everybody should go to Banaras. Yes, right. I think Banaras is, for me, when I went for the first time, I had a girlfriend and who used to work there. Don't tell my wife. And so who invited me to Banaras, and I first went, and I was shocked to see the filth and the dirt, and at the same time, I was amazed that why I'm feeling good. I'm feeling very light. I'm feeling good about it, and I'm like, it's okay. Oh, they're burning the body. Oh wow. Just like, oh my God, it's filthy. Yes, I was smelling the body being burned, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, this is okay. So there's a kind of, they say that is the most ancient city on the planet. So there is something there in Banaras which makes you feel, made me, I don't know about you, but made me feel instantly comfortable. The energy is the vibration, whatever you call it, esoteric words that I can use, but there is something there which makes you feel instantly comfortable, and you come, your idea of death and transientness of life, you realize it that, okay, we shouldn't take ourselves too seriously. We are here just, and we'll go. So it gives you a perspective about yourself, like, Adil, just take it easy. You don't have to, play the actor or and or any other role so seriously. Take it lightly. So it was an amazing experience. That was my 4th time that I had been in Banaras for a longer time. Like I spent another month to shoot another film there before. It's called Feast of Varanasi. And Banaras had been a blessing for me.
Did you have to put on some weight for that role?
I ate a lot of rice to get my jaws fuller, and stomach came out a little bit, but we added a pad, and to get the body posture a little like that. Yeah, so that's the physicality.
Okay, with that, I open it up for questions. Please introduce yourself.
Is it ever going to be possible for any other culture to be celebratory of death in such a way? And keeping that in mind, how has this film been received in other countries? You, of course, toured a lot with this film already.
He will answer the second half of the question more. I'll say a few incidences. I think I read around 14 books on the Hawaiian and Mexican shamanism, where they look forward to death with no remorse, and they have very specific. They have very specific practices, elaborate practices to prepare for death. I'm not talking about the common people, but those who are interested about death and life. So they found that, and I started reading them in 1997 first time, and the person passed away who used to write these books. He used to teach at the UCLA. He passed away in 1998 after writing his last book called The Active Side of Infinity. I was very touched by that, and much later I got introduced to Indian mysticism through Ramakrishna Paramahansa and then to Sri Aurobindo. As far as your second part of the question is concerned, I told the story of this German crew who I was shooting with for a Norwegian film, and they are generally, emotionally, they are quite. It's very difficult to penetrate the defensive mechanism that they have. So I used to come to the shoot every morning, and I'll say, "Hey, Nero, how are you doing?" "I'm good, thank you very much." So that was the wall. So I took them to watch the movie in Sweden, in Gothenburg. And after the Q&A like this, I went out and I was trying to find them. I found them, and he's 6.5 feet. He just said 7 feet now, 6.5 feet. He exaggerated a little bit.
That's what the media does, yeah.
Yeah. So I asked him that, hey, was it okay? Is this film, did it make sense to you? So he took his time, and then I saw his eyes a bit going soft. And I said, I'd like to call my dad actually right now. So, and I had been with the film to so many countries actually, and everywhere the response is that I felt here. In Venice, we had a 10-minute standing ovation for it, and every other country that I went to. I don't know how many countries I went with the film. Many countries. Would you like to add to the something what I said?
The good thing is that it is a story that won amongst 500 scripts that were pitched to Venice, and this was the only 3 stories were picked up, and they were all international mentors there who connected with this whole film. And now the film is releasing in over 40 countries theatrically. It's already running in UK in the 3rd week right now, and it's running in Italy right now, and it's going to release from Japan to North America and South Africa and all. So it's getting a very good response, and I guess it's one of the lucky films, blessed films, which is finding audiences everywhere. A lot of warmth wherever it is shown, and media has been really supporting it. Like in UK also, it opened to really good reviews, as much as we got in India, or even better. So that way it's traveling, and it's really great thing for us.
Yeah, and one of the festivals they went to, they went shopping. So these shoes have been bought at the same shop, yeah? They're really nice. Okay, questions?
Here. Good afternoon, sir. To Sanjay sir, one question. The story was very strong. So why that? So it could be like the new life. So it was very emotional. So who was responsible for choosing such a strong script? You or your son?
It's completely the director who's directing this film. It's his vision, and he wanted to tell the story. Apparently, it stayed with him for a long time when he went to Banaras, and he met people from real Mukti Bhavans, and he really felt engaged and connected emotionally very strongly, and he felt that he should tell this story through cinema. So it's completely his call. I'm a producer. I'm just a support
Thank you,
on this project. Thank you.
It just hits you, isn't it? When you think that the subject is death and it's directed by a 25-year-old, to fathom that subject itself and to handle it so sensitively and yet inject the kind of humor, subtle humor that there is. It's incredible for a 25-year-old to do that. So it's just amazing. I'm just kind of overwhelmed today. I can say that for myself. Any more questions?
Yeah. Good evening. This is Gaurav here. Firstly, I would like to thank both of you for gifting us such a wonderful film without much of that Bollywoody masala and spices. And my question is to both of you. Since Adil sir, since you are from Gwalpara from Assam, do you have any future plannings to shoot any of our films in Gwalpara? And what would be your supportive role as a producer, sir?
This question should go to him. I am just an actor, I just told you. I don't even have imagination, according to him. So, am I rubbing it too much? Okay. I see. I'm not a producer. I think directing a film is a massive job. You know, I can't even begin to think of the responsibilities. I'm very lazy, and I'm not good at it. I am trying to be good at acting since last 35 years that I am practicing this craft, and I still look at myself in the screen. I go like, oh God, what have I done? I'm still like that, so I can't even think of directing a film. So unless you're directing and unless you know set a film on a particular location like Gwalpara, I would love to. It's a beautiful place, but depends upon what kind of subject would fit in there. You know, beauty is not the only relevant. Abhishek Chaubey is sitting here. He's doing his next film in Chambal. Is not necessarily. It could be very harsh location according to the story, which goes with the mood of the story. So I have no idea to how to answer your question. I mean, I answered it, but I can't say yes or no. Maybe after 20 years, I'm like, okay, I can tell a story about my childhood, not my childhood, but what I heard about in my childhood in Gwalpara. Maybe. I'm not saying no, but for now, no.
Since we are from Assam, it would be very nice of us if some of the locations of Assam could be there in the Bollywood movies.
I'm sure you're going to see a lot of Bollywood or Indian films, let's put it this way. Not, I don't want to say Bollywood, but I'm saying films being made in Northeast. I'm hearing that buzz, not only here, but with, and Nagesh said this afternoon that he wants to make a movie here. And I'm sure there are people looking for new stories, new places, and even Vishal was talking about it this morning. Yeah, so there's new markets opening up, new places, and new stuff.
You said you wanted to clarify, no? The imagination part. Yeah? Okay, let's not go there.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Okay, before you ask a question, I also want to say that Adilda does not have an agent. He takes roles mostly through Twitter and Facebook. If you have a great script, yeah, I'm not joking. If you have a great script, just send it to him. You can direct message him. He said you can DM a script to him. If he likes it, maybe he'll work with you, Gaurav, in Gwalpara, yeah? Do a good script.
Yeah. But first you have to find a producer.
Hello. Hello, everyone. My name is Jiaul. I am from district Barpeta. So my first question is to both of you, sir. In the film, it shows the relationship between a father and son. So how would it be different or it be difficult if the relationship, it would be a father or daughter or a son or mother? This is my first question to all of you. So both of you. No, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. I will ask later on.
Yeah. If I have understood your question, that how would it be different if it is between father and daughter or mother and son?
Exactly, sir.
I think that's a very, very difficult question to answer. I had been pondering upon that, why father and son has this very difficult relationship. Always. Quite often, if not always. And father-daughter has a different kind of relationship, which is understandable, but I think what I feel, I'm not a sociologist, that as now in media, people are asking difficult questions to celebrities and actors, thinking they're the wisest people on the planet, but I think we should not take them so seriously. If they say something wrong about Sikkim or something, you know, like, theek hai, acting kar lete hain yaar, theek thaak. So, but in my own wisdom, limited understanding of me and my father and other friends' father that I have seen, like when our son was born, Kabir, suddenly I see my wife's entire focus went from here to there. And I'm like, hey, he just came yesterday and you just left me, and I didn't say that. But I somehow, somewhere I feel that this is a alpha male situation, alpha male ego situation. That entire focus of my partner was with me and the man, patriarchy, misogynist ideas. We had been, it's there in everybody's, especially people, those who are born in this part of the country, this part of the world. And suddenly it shifts to another man who's a little one, very cute, but still, after all, is a man. Like, ye kaun aa gaya bhai? And then he, when he grows up a little bit, claims the entire, attention and everything from my lover, my mother, my wife, and I become a person in the periphery. Yeah, Adil, I'll talk to you. हाँ बेटा क्या चाहिए आपको? So I think there is a certain amount of unspoken. That's what my feeling is. Unspoken, unresolved, and subconsciously we hold on to certain kind. I won't say jealousy, but it's a sort of a irritation. Like irritation arises from jealousy. It's like, who is this new guy? So there is this ego clash happens when, especially when he grows up, and I'm like, hi dad, how are you? So he's the other guy. So it is a complex relationship. Father daughter would be like, hi, father and daughter. There's no challenge. There is no, you are, if you look at it from the Freudian point of view, also that you feel more comfortable, father feels more comfortable with their daughter's offsprings, female offsprings than the male offsprings. So I think it will be a completely different film if it was between me and my daughter, or if I was a daughter of, I wouldn't be playing that role in the first place. To answer your question, somebody else would have played the role. So I think it will be a totally different film altogether.
Thank you, sir. My second question to you. In the beginning of this year, in an interview, you said that you are going to concentrate on theater rather than films. So don't you think that after such a jam, a film like Hotel Salvation, you have to rethink on your decision? That you should equally work in movies also? That people would love to see in movies also, sir? Yes, sir.
No, I had been doing films since 2008, since Abhishek Chaubey got me in Ishkia, and since then I haven't stopped. And we were just discussing about the kind of theater background that I come from. It's almost fanatic, almost like theater is the thing. Because as a I'm a selfish actor, very selfish actor, that I must act. Now, when I go to a set, if there is script reading like with Chintuji, there is so if I'm on a set, on a film set for 10 hours, I get to act actually for 5 minutes and waiting for last, 9 hours and 55 minutes. So I am waiting to act rather than acting. And it's not good enough for me. I need to act 8 hours a day. Because I think I'm an actor, so I need to act. So in films, I feel after doing it for at least 8 years, I feel that I am depriving myself of that intrinsic joy that I feel when I go to the first rehearsal of a play and we start finding the first note, and then we create the second note, and then we create the first sentence melody and then second sentence, and then we go to the entire script and we prepare the first melody. Then we add music. I'm not talking about the music of the instrument. We are adding our own imagination. We create the role after 2.5 months, and then we perform. And after the performance, when we perform for 10 years, like I did Othello for 10 years, and after 10th year, on the last show, I felt this is the first time I did well on the stage. That was the 10th year. So I come from that kind of serious theater background. So for me, acting in film, I love watching movies, but doing it, I have to still think, okay, kal fir shooting mein jana padega. I still have to push, but I am very grateful and lucky that I had been able to act in these amazing films, which started with Ishqiya and right now with Hotel Salvation, Mukti Bhawan, and another film which I have just done. I have learned a lot to internalize, which in theater we are used to reach out to the last audience, those who are sitting at the back. And on camera, the camera comes to you. So you internalize and condense and you make it so intense within instead of expressing it out. So I've learned through the filmmaking. So it will be a different experience now when I go back to theater. So I'm just looking forward to that. It's almost like tempting. It's also almost like Heri, Romaso Tangaru, O Tangare, Romaso Tanganisnaru, yes, so that's what I feel, yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir,
Last
time, no?
yeah.
sir,
Okay, last quick question, huh?
sir, I just wanted to ask, sir, have you find any difficulty for any role, and what are the preparations you do for any role?
It's an essay that I have to say. Yes, of course, I find a lot of difficulty to do because every time I get a role, I have to start from the scratch because I don't know how to do it. And all the brilliant ideas which come to my mind, I try to brush it away, and I go to the set totally with not knowing how to do it, because I believe in one thing which I have read in several books, but especially one sentence, that when you know how to do it before you did it, you are planting the seed of banality. And that's where mediocrity starts, when you already know how to do it, a creative process before you did it. So you do not allow the moment to decide how to do it. And the surprises and the magic that happens in the moment, that is, for me, is like the bait to act. Like, yeah, I don't know. And this happened, that happened. And that's way more, that's priceless than the money that I get out of acting. So it is very difficult sometimes to be in the moment. So being in the moment is the most difficult thing on the planet Earth, including flying a spaceship. Just to be here without thinking anything else, just to be here and now.
I'd like to end with a quote from my favorite movie, which is Kung Fu Panda. And they say, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, we live it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.